Good morning, everyone. I'm Charlie Phipps. I'm a Power Platform developer here at Akari. Can you hear me all right at the back? Yeah? Sweet. Right, just before I make a start, I quickly want you to scan the QR code. There's just one question on it, and I'll introduce the topic in the meantime. So today's topic is to see how you can drive a remote work culture for your diverse workforce and learn how your business can become more productive, innovative, and creative using the Microsoft technologies out there. So why this topic? Well, it's quite obvious to us over the last 18 months, the future of working's changed, okay? 73% of people in the UK now want a hybrid working environment, at least some of the time. With that, 82% of company leaders are now allowing a hybrid working environment. LinkedIn, Microsoft, Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, they earlier announced for the foreseeable future that all employees could adopt a hybrid working. This sent a message to the industries that we have to adopt, we have to change, and we have to react. So how can we do that using Microsoft technologies? Now, just before I go into this, I joined Akari 4 months ago. Prior to that, I joined another company, and both of those were virtual experiences. So I'm talking from experience as well as some of the technologies we've implemented here. But we have people working in Glasgow, that's where they're based, and then I work down from Basingstoke, we've got people working in London. So we have adopted and implemented some of these changes. So I've only got a 20-minute slot, so I have to speak quite fast and go over things in little detail. But if you want to catch me after to go through the more experiences, then I can do that. Now, the first thing we need to think about is what the employees are thinking. Okay, there's a lot of questions that the employees are asking around the hybrid model. You know, when do I need to be in the office? Do I need to be in the office? What happens if, you know, the desk I used to sit in is always taken by someone else? You know, it's a little thing. It's actually no secret. A lot of people and employees are worrying about returning to the office. You know, people are still scared out there. Some people have got used to working from home and want to continue that. And then you have the issues of how do you connect those people working from home to those in the office. We're going to have a look at some of these issues. On the flip side of that, we have to think about what the managers are thinking, or directors, or owners, okay? You know, what's happening, what's this mean for collaboration for my team? What's it mean for my clients? What do I gain from, you know, letting people work remotely? And what do I lose? So we're going to have a look at some of these today. Now, just before I go into that, I'm going to quickly check out the form results that you all just submitted. Okay, it's not on the screen, but we'll just carry on. So what it is, a lot of you said team collaboration. So team collaboration seems to be the biggest issue here, okay? We're going to have actually look at 8 today. Oh, sorry about this. There you go. So there's actually 8 common issues that we have with hybrid working at the moment, okay? We need an even playing field. Employees working remotely often feel excluded because they're not in the office. Breaking barriers to collaboration. Remote working employees miss out on the workplace spontaneous culture. You know, the communication with peers, the conversations over the coffee, okay? All of these things. How do we manage split teams effectively? That's very hard during a hybrid working environment when you've got people working from home, you've got people working from the office. We've introduced flexible working. How do we manage these different teams effectively? Now, I'm actually going to ask you a question here. What is the percentage of employees to less likely to receive a bonus if they work from home compared to those in the office? Now, if you think it's 5 to 10%, please raise one hand. If you think it's 11 to 20%, please raise two hands. And if you think it's 21 to 30%, then please stand. Or if you think it's greater, then let's just do the Macarena. Okay, so a lot of you said raise both hands, which is 11 to 20%. It's actually a staggering 38%. So let that sink in. 38% of us who work from home are less likely to receive a bonus compared to those in the office. I have issues with that, and we're going to have a look at how we can overcome that perspective. Okay, working hours versus social hours. It's important that we switch off. It's important we spend time doing the things we love, spending time with our families, going to the gym. Okay, when do we switch off? How do we manage that with flexible working? Seamless connectivity. How do we connect those in the office to those working from home? The onboarding process, new joiners. You know, when new joiners join virtually, they still need to be connected to the company and connected to the team. They need to feel part of the company and part of the team. We're going to look at how we do that through some technologies. Transforming the role of the office. The office experience is changing now. Okay, it needs to be stronger than ever. You know, we're going to the office for specific reasons. We need to look at how we can change the office, but not based on someone's decision, but based on data. Data needs to be driving that decision. We're going to look at how we can do that as well. And then finally, well-being. We're going to look at both mental and physical well-being. You know, 80% of people had a negative impact during the pandemic on their mental well-being. We're going to look at what technologies have been implemented by Microsoft to overcome that. Okay. Now here is a high-level overview of some of the technologies to overcome those. We're going to have a look at some of them in more detail. But we're going to have a look at Microsoft Teams. We're going to have a look at M365, Viva Insights, Outlook functions, the Power Platform, Your Spaces, which is a bespoke system built on Power Platform. And then we're going to have a look at some add-ons which are in Teams. So, Microsoft 365, how's that helped? If we take a business case like a contract or a statement of work or anything like that, I can now upload that to a Teams channel and I can start tagging people in it. So, you know, Alex, I need you to fill this section. Sarah, I need you to fill this section. We start tagging people, and as a team we work on it remotely. Once we've all worked on our section and we've got our document ready, we can then use Power Automate to generate approvals, which is connected into Teams, which then managers can use to approve. From there, you can then use Adobe Sign in Teams to get a contract signed by a client. So that's all working electronically now and virtually. Microsoft Teams, it's no secret that this has been a goldmine during the hybrid working environment. There's certain features that I'd like to look at though. So we mentioned that you need an even playing field. What this requires is meeting etiquette and a good facilitator. Okay? Microsoft built a function which means you can raise your hand so you do not talk over one another. At no point do you want it to be the loudest voice in the room. Now, it does require a good facilitator, but it also requires you to use these functionalities. If someone's doing something that you like, use the thumbs up, use the applause, if you love the idea. And this is so to stop people from talking over one another. And when you've got a point, you raise your hand. Meeting etiquette is so important to make sure you have an even playing field. Opening up the floor for questions, not just looking in the office, but also looking at those who have connected to the meeting virtually. And we should now assume that every meeting we go to, that at least one person will be joining virtually. Okay? We mentioned praise. Praise is a big issue virtually, and you can do this through Viva Insights. You can do it through Teams. You can provide praise. People work better when they are recognized for the good work they are doing. Okay? We mentioned earlier that not enough people are recognized when they work from home compared to those in the office. You can see when someone's working well from the office, but it's harder to recognize that someone's working well from home. Now, these recognitions can be given, in Teams channels, but then you can also send personal ones because some people don't like, being congratulated in front of their colleagues. But actually giving praise, feeling recognized is important. And then breakout rooms. Breakout rooms is a feature they brought in last year, and this helps with collaboration. Okay, you can have livelier conversations, use the breakout rooms from your main function, collaborate, and then bring your ideas back to the main meeting. Very much like they had in Zoom, but now they have it in Teams. Now, I don't know if you can see this image, but basically what this shows is when you have no breaks during meetings, you're highly stressed, okay? And as your stress builds up, your focus is less. The picture on the right shows if you have a 10-minute break in between meetings, your focus is better, okay? Now, Outlook has a functionality, so you can build in buffer time. You can set up rules. So, for example, if it's half an hour meeting, I need 5 minutes break. If it's an hour meeting, I need a 10-minute break. If it's anything over that, then I need 15 minutes. Your comfort breaks are important, okay? Now, this is where I use the status in Teams as well. If I'm away from my desk, that is not an issue. It can wait. I'm away because I need my own time. I need my comfort time. We need to start using these statuses, but what we actually need to do is before we attempt to contact someone, we should check the status, okay? Because if someone is away, but they keep, hearing their laptop ping in the other room, naturally they're probably just going to go back to it. We need to have some respect for others and actually check their statuses and start using them. It's so easy just to, I need to ping this person, but let's actually look at, are they active? Are they available? If not, can it wait or can I go to someone else? Flexible working. We mentioned flexible working. Some of you may have kids that you attend to in the evening, which means that you actually go and work late at night. You can use delay functions in Outlook to send your emails. So you can write your emails, add a delay, and then send it at an appropriate time. There is a lot of people now that are working flexible and need to do that. But if you send the email whilst you're working late at night, it might cause a reaction for someone else. So, we've got to think of the other person who's receiving the messages. So let's add those delays. That delay function is in Outlook, and it's available. Now, I'm pretty proud of this one. This is a custom solution I built, but this is just to educate you and be more innovative with the stack that you've got available to you. So I noticed that, new joiners, how can we make it better for them? So at Akari, I built like a power apps, and I made it so there was no backwards navigation. It was a journey. You follow this app, and you go through the journey. That would include company videos about the company. But what that actually did, as they went through that journey, it triggered Power Automate flows to go and send Teams messages out to people to reach out to this new joiner, letting people know that a new joiner's there. It would also automatically add them to relevant Teams channels, okay? So they would have access to documents. It would send them daily stand-ups. It would embed them into the system. With this, I built a Power Virtual Agent chatbot. As a new joiner, you're always going to have questions. So why not build a bot for the new joiner? When you're working virtually, you don't want to be bugging someone on Teams every now and then, which for you as a new joiner might be a stupid question. Why not have a bot that you can just ask it? And then if you don't get the answer, then you know that it's appropriate to contact someone. Okay, so I built that. Then we have Viva Connections and SharePoint, which is our company intranet, where everything is stored, a hub where they can go back to, which is integrated into Teams. We also, through Power Automate, generated Planner. So for the new joiner, it set them tasks so they could see what the first 2 weeks would look like. It would give them tasks to reach out to directors and start making sure that they connected with certain people. Now, this is just a little solution I put together, but let's start using the Power Platform stack in a different way to overcome some of the issues. Now, I mentioned to you that transforming the office is important. How we use the office is going to change. And I also mentioned that these decisions need to be based off data. Now, I'm going to show you a video. I apologize, it is used by our sales team, so it is quite sales focused. But what I want you to take away from this video is the technology that I used here to develop a solution which would drive business decisions on office utilization. How I've used a Power Platform to build a solution like this. Okay? So that is a solution that's built off the Power Platform, as you saw, using Visio, Power BI, Power Apps, Power Virtual Agent. That's just one example of something that you could build. Now, what we get from this is actually all the data. We can ask any one of these questions, and we could get the answer from the data from that solution. So we can track and trace who's in the office. And we mentioned office layout, right? We need to see how we can transform the office to make it a stronger experience. We can actually see which parts of the office are being utilized frequently, which parts are not being used frequently, and then we can make the decision on how we may change that. For example, we may see there's a corner of a room that there's common use of desks or not so common, and then we can change that layout. Also, we might not need so many meeting rooms in the office now, because we can see which meeting rooms are being used and which meeting rooms aren't. So we're driving business decisions on office utilization based off our data. Now, a few things for mental and physical well-being. Viva Insights is fantastic for the mental well-being. There's Headspace, which is like a mediation tool. You can actually say how you're feeling each day, and you can view trends, and then you can look at your trends and do self-reflection. Why am I feeling like this? What can I do to overcome this? On top of Viva Insights, you've got Icebreaker. So we mentioned team collaboration, we mentioned onboarding process. Icebreaker is a team spot that helps the whole team get closer. It pairs up members every week at random, okay? So then at random, you're always getting someone new to go and speak to in your organization. What you can also see through Viva Insights and Manager Analytics is when the last checkups were. For example, directors having one-to-one checkups. That way you prevent someone struggling mentally in silence. Now, the only thing Viva Insights doesn't really cover is the physical side. So again, I thought with my thinking hat, what can I do? You probably all are aware of Strava. Strava is like a fitness app. So using Strava and its API, I then just integrated that with Microsoft Power BI, and I integrated that into Teams. What that meant is it pulled in all the activities, and it sort of created a league table. I then took it the next step further, and we had different leagues for different abilities. It included all sports. Now, what this did, it actually built a community in the workplace. People are asking and encouraging one another to go on exercise. Oh, are you going for a walk at lunchtime? What are you doing this evening? John, I see you did an amazing cycle at the weekend. It built that encouragement and it built that community. And that was just built through, using Strava's API, but also Microsoft technologies. There are still gaps in the market for hybrid working. There are still issues that Microsoft have identified themselves, and they have some features coming soon. I've chosen 2 that I particularly like, which should be out next year. The first one is Front Row. So it's the new Microsoft Teams layout. It's to bridge the gap with hybrid working, and this layout moves the video gallery to the bottom of the screen so in-room participants can see remote colleagues face-to-face across a horizontal pane. So it's like if they were essentially in the room. The other one is Cameo. So if I was presenting to you whilst working from home, it's not really personal. I'll be sharing my screen and I'll be talking to you. What Cameo does, it actually builds your Teams feed into your presentation. So when I share my screen, you will see my face and whilst I'm presenting to you in my presentation. And there's different designs, as you can see. So that's a cool feature and another gap that they've identified. Now, I did only have 20 minutes, and I did go over things quite fast, but I'm happy to take any questions at stand 25 or throughout the day. You'll find me in this bright purple top. In the meantime, if you could connect with me on LinkedIn, that would be fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for listening.